So I'm live, but I have no subscribers, and I don't really care. So I don't know if anybody can hear me. I don't really care. I know nobody in the chat, and I'm just going to say what I need to say. So I'm currently looking at what's going on. Today it's the 10th of June. It's about approaching 7 p.m. Up with an old friend of mine today, and we're just kind of commiserating about what's going on in the world and how it's just getting worse for all of us older folk who are kind of looking around at the world and saying, "Wow, it ain't nothing like it was 30 years ago." It's getting completely crazy. Everybody that's in a position of responsibility right now is absolutely blowing it, just blowing it from. Let me just pause here for a second. So I I just deleted my X account just because it's a self-obsessed platform, and it's obsessed with AI, and people just have become obsessed with AI to the point where they're asking stupid questions like, "Are humans conscious?" Well, that where are we going, folks? Where are we going? What are we doing? We're not holding the people at our local level accountable. Where's all this tax money going for all these fucking houses? So I look around, I can walk around this town. There are fucking tens of thousands of houses. They're collecting taxes on these fucking houses every year. And where's all that money going? Where's it going? It's not going to fix the fucking roads. It's not going where it should be going. So I closed my X account because I've been sick of social media for a long time. But when you're kind of socially isolated, you jump back in the pond because that's where everybody's congregated. That's where everybody's sitting at their computers and fucking jacked in and complaining about AI. Remember back when you see the commercials say "kill your television"? Yeah, well, we didn't do that. We didn't do that at all. So this is what you get. And when you when you realize that this is what you get when you don't do what you're being told to do, which was a suggestion, get away from this stuff, get away from it, get out in nature, go spend some time in nature. So in this world, you have to do two things that are almost diametrically opposed to one another. You have to keep an open heart. You have to be able to love unconditionally. You have to have this thing, but you also have to protect yourself because there are a lot of people out there that just don't give a shit. They're caught up in transactional relationships. They're caught up in money. They're caught up in status. They're caught up in trying to get the most for the least. And as somebody who has walked a path from one place to another, like bartering my services for a fucking roof over my head and a place to take a piss, you realize how people will devalue you. And when you don't like that and you don't accept that, then you're free to go, which is true. What I see is a lack of community. I see a lack of community. What I don't see is people understanding what sovereignty actually is. What I don't see is people actually understanding what it means to open your heart and and be a host to something that you can't see, you can't really verify except through your own personal experience over time. So I decided a long time ago to open my heart to something that I read about, came to believe in, started to have experience with, and then realized that it came into me and it lived there. And having the life experience of somebody who's had to go from place to place and lean on hospitality and what hospitality originally meant. And when you look up the etymology of hospitality and see the origins of it, you see how that has, it's all changed. It's gone from reciprocity to transactional kind of stuff. And that has everything to do with the printing of false money and the worship of idols and looking for heroes and getting caught up in drama and being manipulated by musical scores that are discordant to natural rhythms in life. And I mean, this is a whole study that could take you lifetimes. Unfortunately for me, I've spent better than 2 decades looking at this stuff and realizing what it does to the body, how these bodily systems actually work, and how you have to take the reins and take back your own sanity. You have to take back your own bodily functions. You have to get control of your thoughts and your emotions. Um, this may sound like a rant, but it's stream of consciousness. This is how a lot of empaths work. This is how a lot of shamans work. They kind of shock you into paying attention. So this morning I was at an AA meeting, and because I'm very receptive to energy, and I also know who I am and what I've survived and what I've lived through and what I've overcome, I I intuitively know when there's vampiric energy in the room, and and they always prove it right. When a topic discussion or a big book reading turns into a speaker meeting, that's you can tell this kind of person when they're being sober at somebody in the room. Um, and because I'm fiercely protective of environments that are supposed to be safe for even the most vulnerable walking through the door, I don't hold my tongue. And so I listen. I don't usually share till towards the end, um, and if I do at all, uh, because I'm not impervious to stuff. I like to keep an open heart, and I will not have another individual threaten where I choose to come to be able to let my guard down, because that's supposed to be a safe place for all people. Um, so it's one of the places I thought of to kind of reconnect with people that were at least thinking about a spiritual way of life, a better way of living, because everything that's going on in the world is so insane and so chaotic that nobody can agree on anything. And with AI and these losers in government who habitually lie and just pillage and plunder for 5-figure paycheck every month, while little old ladies and little old men are being forced out of their homes, and criminal police officers are helping that process along. There's no integrity left in government. There's no integrity left in law enforcement. And if there is, it isn't, because if you serve in those capacities and you do not turn around and arrest your superiors for doing what they're doing, you're no better. I mean, and you're no different. Those aren't uniforms anymore. They're all disguises, and there's no integrity left. And if there is, again, there isn't, because you're not holding your brother to your left or your sister to your right accountable. You took an oath. You took an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, or the Constitution of the United States of America. You took an oath. That means you, as an employee, are bound by a contract. You are bound by a contract. I'm not. I didn't swear any oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. It's not a romance document. It's a contract. It's a government services contract. Services are enumerated. They're enumerated. There are specific services that are required of you if you are receiving a paycheck and a pension and you've sworn an oath or you've affirmed an oath. Secretary of State Rubio is committing over 350 million capital felonies every day. Every day. So is Scott Bessent, Secretary of the Treasury. So is Donald Trump, because he's supposed to be responsible for keeping those people in line. And so is the Solicitor General, because he's supposed to be the most learned in law, all forms of law that are being carried out on land in America. The whole discussion about Israel and everything that's going on overseas right now is such a red herring issue, because the real issue is behind what's happening in Vatican City, what's happening in intercity London, what's happening in under the guise of the British Crown. None of these people have standing to even hold the contracts to serve the United States of America. None, not one of them. Meanwhile, somebody like me has gone through the gamut of criminal doctors and their trial and error medications and like ruining people's brains, ruining people's lives with poisons, and they get away with it because the FDA has no interest in actually making sure that the things that are being marketed to people directly, far too often, are safe for them, or or do as they're advertised to do. It's a giant mess. It's evil to the core, and the entire system needs to be dismantled. It needs to be razed to the ground, but it needs to be done in a way that doesn't cause a cascading collapse of the entire system. That's what they're pushing for. They're pushing for kinetic, boots on the ground activity, and it's very difficult to not let it get to you. So what do we do? We have to keep our heart open. We have to love unconditionally, but we also have to stand our ground and not accept unacceptable behavior. And we have to enforce the constitutions, and we have to break free of the tethers of central banks and the criminal enterprise that is the Federal Reserve and Federal Reserve Board of Governors, and what's passing for the U.S. Treasury now, and what's passing for government. It's not government. It's a bunch of corporations. They have no sovereignty because they're incorporated and they use commercial script. A quick read of the Clearfield Doctrine will tell you exactly what that means. It means they are reduced to the level of corporations and can be sued as such. Individuals in their personal and commercial capacity, and as institutions, they can be sued. The problem with that is the bar associations have hijacked our court system. So there's no justice. There's no real justice in this country. You have a foreign guild, theater guild, that doesn't even give the appearance of justice anymore. It's a mockery of justice. Um, my last post on X was about the Black's Law Dictionary. It was a mockery of the law. The problem is people were so gullible that it took root, and now it's a giant inside joke. So anybody that cites Black's Law, Black's Law Dictionary, and all its iterations, is either an idiot or a criminal. I know I'm not going to win any popularity contests, and I doubt anybody will ever watch this, and I don't care. I don't care. I'm speaking it into the ether. I'm praying for archangels and galactic federations and whoever else to just show up. Stop threatening to do it. Just show up. Rip this dome open. Yank these fucking evil bastards out of here and get it over with. Even if I'm one of them, even if I'm among them. Because if I were to sit and have my heart weighed, knowing what I've done to overcome generational curses, trauma, drug addiction, alcoholism, being betrayed and robbed and abused and all the shit that I've been through, and still want to be kind to people, still want to engage communities, still want to improve things, still want to optimize what little we have access to while we're being defrauded by people who apparently don't give a shit about us. Um, if if my heart seems a little heavy as compared to a feather, consider what I've been through. And I can't say anything else about that. I've done everything I can to clean up the wreckage of my past. I don't go out of my way to hurt or defraud people. I try and live an honest life. It's almost impossible to fucking take care of responsibilities, feed yourself. Like I can't even think about getting behind the wheel of an automobile anymore because who fucking afford it? I have no resources. I have no credit. I don't use credit cards. I haven't had credit in years. And every part of you that detaches from that system, you are charged more. The entire system is weaponized against honesty and truth and love and kindness. It's weaponized. And that's one of the things I said in the meeting this morning is people, however they align themselves, can weaponize anything. They can weaponize anything. They can weaponize your heart. They can weaponize your mind. They can weaponize it, but only if you allow it. So when something like that rears its ugly head, I bite its fucking head off because that's my job. I don't. It's not. It doesn't get past my gate, and if it steps to me, then it will. It will meet. It will meet with with whatever it's armed with. It will meet. Um, because I'm tired of liars. I'm tired of energy vampires. I'm tired of people stealing time. And honestly, I'm tired of time altogether. Uh, our how we mark time was a construct, and it was all designed to extract labor, your energy, your time. If we didn't have clocks and watches, stuff like that, we'd have the stars, we'd have the seasons, then we'd know when to plant our food, and we'd know when to harvest our food, and we wouldn't be under the gun to perform for somebody else. So I don't know. I never wanted to do this. Like I didn't want to sit in front of a computer camera and talk. I just I would rather be building a house or repairing or restoring something or getting this koi pond working or cooking a meal for people or building a fire pit, keeping a fire, like being a part of sweat lodge. I wish somebody would invite me to a sweat lodge so I can get back in to a sweat lodge and be okay. Just just be okay. I want to be a part of a community that actually cares about itself and each other. and I just haven't had that in a long time. So this, I want to apologize to Catherine. My last post on YouTube was to a content creator, and I'm just so fed up. I'm just so fed up with hearing about like ancestors and like ancestors. Well, I don't have any family left here. 55 years old. My mother's gone. My father left a long time ago, and he's dead. Like they're all gone. And the ones that are left are peripheral at best. And if I'm not calling them, I never hear from them. That's not family to me. And Jesus talked about that. So who is my mother and who is my brother? Those who do the will of my Father in heaven. When I decided to walk that path, I made a decision that I was going to imitate him as best I could, which means I had to have an open heart, but I had to be wise, and I had to call bullshit when I saw it. That doesn't make you a very popular guy. And it is what it is. I don't claim to be a savior. I don't claim to be, I'm not a megalomaniac. There are people that like take that shit to the extreme. I've seen that happen. That wasn't the point. That wasn't the point of the resurrection. Like when that light was put in us, it was up to us to open that door when it knocked and let it in. And it would come in and it would sup with us and we would sup with it. If you don't open your heart to that or you deny it in other people, that was the inexcusable. That was the inexcusable. When you try and stifle that in somebody, when they present it to you, when people bring hospitality to you, and you try and snuff that out, I give people I give people a lot of chances. And when they go out of their way to hurt me, and I know that all around the world people are doing that to each other all the time. That makes me very angry. And it's not me that's getting angry. I'm just kind of witnessing all this stuff. It's something else that's getting angry. And it's justified. So my little amount of time on this planet, I don't think matters in the grand scheme of things. It's what's going to happen when souls like mine are free from this mortal coil, and those that did these kinds of things are trapped in here with those of us who are then free. So I apologize for that brunt post, Catherine. I am tired of waiting for help. I'm tired of waiting for that that point in my life where I have the resources to just go get on a massage table, go take a trip and go sit on a beach and just be quiet. Just go sit by a fire and not have to worry about I have to go get a job and fucking work and get money so that I can buy enough food for the next 3 days. I'm so tired of that. I'm fucking tired of that. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know how long it's going to take, but something has to change, and people need to wake up. People need to stop being afraid. People need to come together, and there's some there's some stuff that needs to be dismantled. It needs to be taken out of the hands of people that have proven that they are not to be trusted with the purse strings. When you betray people and you violate trust, you need to be exposed and you need to be removed from that position. And that goes across the board. And anybody resting on their laurels, believing that they're part of institutions that are helping when they're not, if you have a conscience, why would you even keep that job? You're guilty by association. If you give something legitimacy by remaining attached to it and you're drawing a paycheck from it, you're guilty by association. You're not any different from the man next to you that's doing things out of greed or malice or whatever. If the institution is corrupted, it needs to be dismantled. Period. So, I guess that's my rant for the day. Um, I don't know anything about creating a platform. I don't know anything about being a social media anything. I don't want this for myself. I would rather be riding a horse somewhere on a horse farm. I don't want anything to do with this. I'm not good at it. I don't want to get good at it. What I would like is to be on land somewhere with people who have land that want shit built. Hobbit houses, ponds, commercial kitchens. I want to cook for people. That's what I want to do. I want to cook for people. I want the food to show up on refrigerated trucks. I want to be able to cook. I want to open fridges and see it abundant because I can cook and I like to eat. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm a little underweight. So I think that's enough. There are people that love you, no matter who you are, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you've done. If you want to heal, if you want to get better, if you want to be forgiven things you've done and you can't forgive yourself, just try. Ask God for help. Just ask for help. God help me. God help me. That's how it began for me over 25 years ago. And what I've been through ever since then showed me that not only does God exist, but He loves me, cares for me, and He gets me through no matter what. The things that I have survived are only because I know there is a loving God that will get me through no matter what. Even through this anger, even through my frustrations, as long as those things do not lead to going overboard, missing the mark, sinning, so to speak. So it's, I think 28 minutes and 49, 50 seconds is plenty. We'll round off to 29. And yeah, God bless you.